last hour trade today, tomorrow will be very important to watch out for. While we have a lot of market-specific action, there's a lot of stock-specific action as well. So let's talk about GHCL. The stock is up nearly 62% so far this year. We have Jalan, who's the managing director of the company, who is joining us now to talk about the company's outlook and the business going forward. Mr. Jalan, good afternoon. Thanks a lot for joining us. Well, quarter one has been a very strong quarter for you, be it on the textile side or on the soda ash side. How much have soda ash prices risen by in quarter two as well? Has that strength continued? And for how long do you expect these prices to stay firm at these levels?
Yeah, good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me for this call. You see, basically, soda ash globally, if you look at the soda ash demand has been quite good. Last, I would say, more than a year now, the demands are on upside, whereas the new capacity has not been added. And this adds to the kind of a tightness in the overall global market. Second, as you know, that overall the energy, because of the Ukraine and Russia war, energy prices has also been on the upside. The cost has also gone up. On the other side, the prices has also gone up. In the second quarter, I would not say that the price increase has happened, but the price are getting absorbed, which has been increased in the first quarter.
Okay. All right. Mr. Jalan, you know, that's exactly what Tata Chemicals said, that the demand for soda ash is extremely strong, especially also in markets such as India. So what does that translate in terms of growth for you, revenue growth for you? Because you're working with a scenario where demand is strong and capacities are still not coming on stream for excess amount of production. So in that scenario, what would that mean for business for you in terms of sales?
In terms of the sales, if you look at in this quarter, in the first quarter itself, our revenue has grown, company as a whole, by around 100%, from 700 crores to around 1400 crores. And if you look at in that, the major segment of the contribution is from the soda ash. Soda ash has grown from around 527 crore to around 1100 crores. So this kind of a scenario of the growth will continue going forward. And overall, our belief is that in terms of the revenue growth, it will be approximately around 25–30% growth will be there during this year.
And what about margins? Mr. Jalan, will you be able to maintain it at current levels? That is around 31%?
Yeah, I think so, because like I said, the overall the demand scenario continues to be good. And except in the rainy season right now, as you know, that overall, historically, the soda ash demand in the detergent side is slightly on the lower side. But if you look at year as a whole, you will find that this kind of a margin, we will be in a position to continue.
Okay, all right. So you would continue with these kind of margins. Just a little more in terms of exports for soda ash. Could you just break up how much you get from the domestic business, how much you get in terms of exports?
See, basically, soda ash is a business where the major supply which you have to make it to the domestic players. And since there is an overall demand tightness, as I told you, there is no big I would say, incentive for us to kind of an export at this point of a time. So we are not doing, of course, we are doing around 5 to 7%, but not a very significant amount. We are not doing the export at this point of time.
Okay. So that takes me to your expansion plans as well. You have some expansion plans in place. You are talking about doubling your RBC capacity, increasing your soda ash capacity as well. The RBC project you said will come on stream by second quarter of FY23. Has it already come on track? And what about the revenue expectations from both these capacity expansions that you're expecting? And by when will it start showing in your books?
You see, if you look at the sodium bicarbonate, there's small delay in that, and most likely in the third quarter it will get commissioned. And that will approximately, we are doubling around from 60,000 to 120,000. That will be approximately add to approximately around 100 crores kind of a top line growth will be there in that. In terms of soda ash production, as you know, we are setting up a new greenfield project with a new location, and that will take some time. We have given a guidance of around 25. It will get commissioned in 25. And after that, advantage what we'll be having is, from that capacity, we have a large site of land there. So we can continuously expand our soda ash capacity there. And even we can look at the possibility of some of the other chemicals opportunity also there. So that journey Of course, the volume will come in 25 only.
Okay, all right. Mr. Jalan, you have a spinning business which you were planning to demerge by next month. Where do plans stand on that?
Yeah, in the third quarter, the shareholders has approved, and even the unsecured case, all the approval has been received. Now we're in the process of filing to the NCLT, and I think a couple of months it will require to get an approval of NCLT and then kind of doing other formalities. And hopefully in the next quarter, means third quarter, this process will get completed.
Okay. And what about the proceeds that you were going to receive from Indocount? You said earlier that you have received 300 crore rupees. Rest you will be receiving in some time. And once those come in, what will the debt figure look like? What is the current debt for you?
Approximately around 600 crores is the debt at this point of a time. And if you look at this, the money which we have got from Indocount of approximately around 600 to 700 crores, which is primarily being used for the expansion in the spinning business as well as in the soda ash. And as well as some money has gone into the, as you know, that all the raw material prices has gone up. So some money has gone in, even in the working capital also. And my understanding is that by year end, we should be in a kind of a debt-free kind of a situation at GHCL as a whole, which is around 600 crores of the debt at this point of a time.
Okay, all right. So you're looking at some amount of cleanup in the balance sheet as well. Mr. Jalan, you did guide on margins, but I specifically wanted to ask you about the textiles business in terms of the margins for Q1. It had reduced to around 23.5%. How is business looking now when it comes to, say, raw material costs, input costs, especially for the textiles division?
As I have been mentioning in last 2 quarters, the spinning business at this point of a time is slightly on the lower side because, as you know, the cotton prices has gone up very significantly high, and demand for the, I would say, for the end product like a garments or the home textile is on a downward trend, and because of that, the spinning business is getting some impact overall in India for the entire industry. And but like I said in the past also, that I see if you look at it slightly medium terms, spinning business will continue to do good. And overall, maybe in third quarter or fourth quarter, things will be looking up again. In terms of the margin, some impact will be there in the margin in this quarter. But overall, like I said, our guidance of around 16-17% margin, which we have been achieving in the past, we will be able to achieve that.
Okay, all right, Mr. Jalan, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks a lot for joining us and giving us all those details. So that's the word coming in from GHCL, expecting a revenue growth of 25 to 30%, expect to maintain margins at the 31% mark. The soda ash market, that continues to be very, very strong. On that note, we'll slip into